Hey everybody, what's going down? It's your girl Jeremy. You know, I always got something to say, and this week we've got a special guest in the building, Mr. Sean Kiez. When
What it
I
do? What it
tell
do?
you all that this man has brought, celebrities to the city. He has changed the game entirely. He is also not only in the background, but in the foreground with his music, having more than 280K listening views, and the list is endless here.
Yeah.
Spotify verified, and so it's be Instagram verified. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Y'all get up for Sean Kiez.
What up? What up? What up? What's going on, y'all? Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming to talk with me today.
For
Tell
sure.
everybody in depth about what it is that you do and how you started to do it.
Okay. Well, that's so many different variables because I do so many different things. So I'm trying to figure out on what point you're talking about. You talking on the music side or behind the scenes side? But
Let's
I
talk
got
about
to.
let's talk about behind the scenes, and then we're going to transition into your foot in the music industry.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So behind the scenes, I run a company called the Formula Entertainment. It's an all-around entertainment company. We do label services. We do some branding. We done work with Amber Rose, got her a brand deal. Who else? Blueface, Rich the Kid, G Herbo, a few other acts that we done did, put different bags together, put different plays together for them. So that's the behind the scenes side. We managed a lot of legacy acts. I managed JoJo from Jodeci. I'm sure everybody that's of my skin tone or lighter or darker know who Jodeci is. So, that's one component of it that we do. And actually got them on the show that they own now, the Grown Up Hip Hop Show. We put that play together. What else? And I write music. I was behind the scenes writing and doing other stuff. And then I came out during the pandemic. I was like, you know what? It don't make sense to waste my talent. I might as well start, breaking in some of these records that I got. And that's what we did. We just started working towards that. Moved the company to Houston, back to Houston about 2 years ago from LA. And I'm glad we did. It was right before the pandemic, so now everybody from LA is coming this way or going to Atlanta. But I think Houston is a better hub than Atlanta and LA right now because you can capitalize off not just the entertainment side, but you're in the middle of everything. So you can go back and forth. And then the cost of living is good. So you can get other business ventures going on because this is a business city. So it's pretty cool.
Do you think Houston is slowly becoming a mixture of LA and Atlanta in a sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's becoming a mixture of both with more class. You got, your LA is very classy and high end, and you got your whole, the Hollywood scene. And then you got, Atlanta, the music they dominate with with the music, but they don't have the knowledge and the wisdom like the industry, how the industry really worked like LA or like a New York. You know what I'm saying? So, you meet a lot of people that say, well, they're from Atlanta, they're a publicist or they're a journalist or they're a producer or whatever, whoever, but they don't really get the business behind what's going on or the politics to understand how to navigate through the industry. So luckily we got, the best of both worlds and experiencing that.
Do you find yourself constantly getting the artists to adjust to the technological impact that it has on the industry now? Like, back then, all you had to do was, get somebody, that tape, and that tape would just travel.
Yeah.
Have miles on it. Whereas now everything is online and, everything is as simple as an app.
Yeah. So it's different, because like when I first started out, of course I was a little younger than I am now, right? So I'm just 20. I just turned 21, as a matter of fact. But I think that the industry back then, you had to really pass out your CDs or your tapes, right? And then how you shopped your demo was a lot different. You could do the radio runs. It was a lot cheaper. It was a lot different than it is now. Now there's so many people that's trying to be an artist. And the deals, a lot of these people are taking the deals that you shouldn't even really be taking. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own. everybody's situation is different. I ain't here to judge nobody, but I won't be ever doing a 360 nothing. You know, we either do a partnership or I stay independent. And I'm fine with both because the grind got to come from you anyway. A lot of people think that when they get a deal, it's the end of the world. No, you got to grind harder because these people have invested their money in you. And they always gonna be on the winning side of it. You know what I'm saying? So you see like a lot of these acts now, you know, it's in the digital world. To answer your question, I'm gonna go back to answer your question. But in the digital world, you know, you got the jump drives and all that other stuff, so you can pass to the DJ. Now you can send them a link or a QR code. So it makes it a lot more convenient, right? But it's still not personable because it's a lot easier to just be behind without being yourself. And you know, this next generation of kids, they deal with a lot of other stuff. You know, our newer fans on a lot of other levels that we ain't gonna get into today. But you know, so I hope I answered your question the right way.
No, you did, because, you know, people do have questions and, you know, I don't have the answer to them, but I know the people who do. And that's one of the other purposes of this podcast. So that way, you know, drop that knowledge on them, because a lot of them are, I'm not going to say lost, but they just have questions, and the people in their camp can't really answer them.
Can't answer them right because they don't know.
Right.
You got the homeboy manager, your cousin manager, you got your D-boy partner that he the hustler, he got the money, but then you just spending your money and spinning your wheels and not really utilizing the resources around you because you don't know how to use those resources or which way to go. How do you do a proper rollout for a record? You know, how to get the right cover art, you know, the right kind of content so you don't get flagged. All that stuff plays a factor because artists got to realize they're a brand. So when you're building your brand, you're not going to have Coca-Cola with some girls twerking on camera because that's a particular brand. They're trying to sell to everybody. And as an artist, you got to realize, like, you really trying to sell to everybody. Everybody is your customer. You're a moving and walking, breathing entity. So you got to make sure that your brand is established in that way so it could be respected and received that way.
I recently talked to Meech Golden from NYC, who is, you know, he used to be Deion Sanders' like right hand. He assisted him. He also assisted with Michael Strahan and along with Bella Twins. I mean, the list goes on. And he was discussing about authenticity and discipline, especially from artists or his clients, and how, you know, just because the dollar amount is there doesn't mean you have to alter who you are to fit.
Better not do it. Yeah.
And do you see that as, you know, that being the norm, that, you know, some artists or some talent out here, they are altering themselves for that dollar amount?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. You know, what's making it? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. You know, how much are you worth? A lot of people don't even understand the value of themselves. So they'll take whatever type of dollar amount it is given to them, you know, like $100,000 advance. Let me give you an example. You could go, well, I can't really tell you that. Well, I can't tell you the label, but I could just give you an example. You could go to a label as a writer, right? And they give you a publishing deal, right? So they might advance. That means you got to pay back. They got to recoup their money before you see another dollar. They advance you, let's say $150,000, $100,000 to somebody who never had $500 at the time. That's millions of dollars. But in the long game, if they willing to put up $150,000 for you, just imagine what they gonna make off of that, right? So now they got the streams. They make it off streams, which is slow. They put that song that you wrote in TV, film, and all that stuff. So what other production company that buy that stuff, they got to pay for the licenses on that, right? So they own that because you don't own that yet because they got to recoup from you. But they never really tell you not the dollar amount because you still got to fulfill a certain amount of units. So you might have to do like 10 or 20 units, but they only give, and that's the whole record. But they might add other people on that record. You might get your small percentage of writing and all of that other stuff. So you'll never really satisfy and fulfill that contract of those 10 or 20 units. And by the time you do or get close, your career burnt out. And the game changed every couple months. So you'll never really recoup yourself out of that. Even if they make their money back, you still didn't solidify that how y'all had your contract set up. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't know, and they need to really understand what they're doing. I see a lot of artists that get these 360 deals, and I'm not knocking nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, whatever your situation is, sometimes is for the best, but they go get paid off your merch. They go get paid off you hitting the road. They go get paid off any other endorsements that you get. They go get paid off your ass die, sneeze and die. That some of that life insurance policy that they got on you, that's going to them before it hit your people.
Wait, the life insurance?
You're a business. I got to insure something. You live a reckless lifestyle. You're an artist. Of course, I'm gonna have a life insurance policy on you. These people better start reading their contracts, man.
Talk about the importance of reading your contracts, because some people, okay, we're not gonna. Let's just say a label.
Think about it. How you gonna pay me back? Let's say you're a gangster rapper. You see all these rappers getting smoked off, right?
Right.
So let's say I'm a label that signed one of these newer acts. You are already a liability just from the content that you do, from the energy that you create. Not knocking nothing. We all come from the street, right? But if you still in that element and you hot, your chances of survival is getting slimmer, right? Because you creating that element. So I'm gonna make sure I put a life insurance policy on my investment. So if you worst come to worst, I'm gonna recoup regardless and still get the sales of whatever that you hope, because your sales and streams about to shoot up.
Right. Oh, right.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, damn. Oh.
So it's deeper than the surface. Just a little keys of life.
And then, like, what about your experience, like, with artists whom you managed in the past but have ended up, maybe their label gave them a manager instead of them actually, during their research.
That's the worst thing you do. That's just like walking into a label and using their lawyer. Now, I'm not speaking against labels. I hope they don't take this the wrong way.
We are not. Look, we are not speaking against labels. We're not speaking against no one in specific. This is a general knowledge concept that we are discussing on this platform.
Yeah, take the smartest person you know, and just advice to the artists out there. Take the smartest person that you know and try to convince them to get invested in your work. Then y'all read all that stuff together, because everybody needs to know. I understand you're an artist, but don't be a fool. You need to know exactly what's going on with you in your career. Like, you get up and go to work every day just like you trap. Like, if you trapping every day, you gonna know what's going on with the law. So you need to know what's going on with this law, and this is business law. So you need to understand all of that type of stuff. Understand everything and everything that's moving. Study this craft, man. It's deeper than just some weed, some drink, and some bras and some clothes, and you know what I'm saying, who the freshest. It's deeper than that. That's cool, and that's fine. You can do all that, but at the same time, don't get caught in the mix, man. And you mess around and it'd be years and years later, and your family's still trying to fight for your royalties.
Right.
And they done been recouped, and if they don't nobody know nothing, how I'm gonna teach you who gonna fight for you if don't nobody know? So I don't even know why we went there, but we went there.
Oh no, it's something that needed to happen. It's a lot of things. It's definitely a lot of things that we just talked about that needed to happen, not just for my knowledge, but for everyone watching.
Got to be transparent, man. Some people don't even want to put the work in. Like, everybody around me, I make sure I speak full transparency. So they start picking up the bits and pieces of what's going on. So they understand, from my security to the publicist to assistant to my niece, my mama. So everybody know what's happening. My homeboy that I trust, you know what I'm saying? My cousin, the people that you trust. So they understand the lingo in the business too. So they never in the blind. The worst thing you could do is be walking blind.
Do you know some artists, well, we're not going to say no names, but do you know some artists in the industry that are actively walking blind, and maybe you have tried to, tell them, hey, dog, watch out for this, and they just like, no. That's cousin Bookie, that's cousin Pooboo.
Of course.
So, like,
Y'all
How
heard that you heard records on the radio and saw them on TV. Yes, of course.
how do you
Keep it moving.
yeah.
Focus on Sean Kiez.
You guys, where did your name come from, Sean Kiez?
What you mean?
Like
That's my name.
part Keys is part of your.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like a moniker. I didn't know that was your.
No, let's keep it easy. Keep it easy.
I like that. It's
Yeah,
dope. It's
Sean,
dope.
keep it easy. Life is already hard. You got to keep it easy.
What do you think about artists who are still convinced they have to leave the city in order to progress in their career?
You got to leave your city.
Do you think it's a lot of things that withhold artists from doing that?
Yeah, the comfort of getting into some stuff with your cousins. Like let's say you know how it is. Niggas get to hating. Excuse my French. People get to hating. They know you from a personal. You know, y'all went to school together. Y'all grew up together. Y'all come from the same ghetto, the same struggle, right? Or it could be in a suburb. It could be that too. Your family is an affluent family. Their family is an affluent family, right? But you decide that you're good at music and you want to do this, and you want to be a singer or a dancer or a director or an actor or whatever the case may be. Anything related to the arts. You notice anything related to the arts goes against what the norm should be. Like a lot of families don't really understand, like you being a journalist. Yeah. A lot of people be like, well, how much money is that gonna make? Well, I don't have a cap because this is what I love to do, right? So you can make some real good money in it or you can not, but it all depends on what makes you happy. What do you define success? What's success to you? What's your measure of worth, right? But anyway, to get back to the point, a lot of people, what was that question again? Hold on, give me that question one more time.
We're talking about how the different circumstances withhold artists from progressing.
Right, being in their hometown. So they grew up with you, they know you from, so they don't really respect what you're doing. It's more so who this nigga think he is or who this person think they is. Even the ones that know that you cold, they're not gonna give you your flowers because they feel like they should be able to do it too. But they gotta realize this is not their dream. It's not their calling, nor is it their destiny. You walking in your own divine lane, you walking in faith. None of that matters. So sometimes you got to separate yourself to protect you so you can grow and do what you need to do to make the world understand who you are, because they already understand. And remember this, whenever you got a hater, they know your greatness. They wouldn't be hating for no reason.
Hey, look, that's why I got this shirt. So talented and scared.
There you go. That's dope. I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And trust me, it's a whole story behind this one quote. But
I'm sure.
But I know that for artists, finding their sound can be difficult as well. Yeah. And do you assist in that process and helping the artists develop their own sound or trying to find it? And
of course, I help plenty.
And what components go into that and helping the artists finding their sound? Well,
you got to find their pain. In order to find your sound, sometimes you got to get to the artist's pain to really understand their backstory. And then just hear their voice and what it fit and be a visionary for their craft until they can see it and tap into it and elevate from that point. You get what I'm saying? That's the way I always do it. I just tap into, if it's a singer, if it's a song about a dude or somebody hurt you, you got to bring that pain with that.
Right.
If it's a rapper and you experience some of those emotions, you got to bring that aggression or that smoothness or that suave with that message that you're trying to portray, because you really are summoning spirit. It's an energy base. So you want to bring that energy to the occasion so you can really be effective and do what needs to be done.
I recently, first off, I love listening to underground rap as far as, the freestyles. Like my favorite one was Cassidy, man. He annihilated old dude, but that's my opinion. Yeah. But a lot of underground rappers don't think that rap today is real rap. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree to some extent?
Well, Nas still dropping albums. Jay still drops some stuff. So we still got real rap out here. you know, you got your 3-6 Mafia and them, they still do their thing, Project Pat, Juicy J, all of them. I mean, you know, they still out here, they just not as big as, because they don't have a machine behind them. You know what I'm saying? But even Mike Jones, that's the homie, he got a bunch of dope stuff that ain't even out yet. Like, dude got like 400 and some records that's just ready to come out.
What?
Like, dope.
He used to go ahead and release them.
He dropping them. But I'm just saying, like, I understand why they say that. Sometimes when you listen to these lyrics of these songs, like if it's a new record that come out, just being an artist, right, and then just being a very competitive at the sport of music, right? Because, you know, growing up, you'll freestyle against somebody, that was your battle. You know what I'm saying? You'll see who got the best rhyme. So I come up from all that. When you go on Apple, you play the lyrics as the song going. Yeah, and if you really pay attention to these lyrics, it's like, what the fuck? It's just the sound that we getting attracted to. It's the beat and then the melody that they got. But when it comes to the
and that 808 just come in at the right time.
And when we listen to it, we jamming. They ain't saying shit. I ain't saying that. Well, a lot of them ain't. A few of them is.
Do you think that rap is based solely on lyricism and storytelling, or is it one or the other? Because, you know, you have, like, okay, I'm a 90s baby. So while I was growing up, it was storytelling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it turned into lyricism and then surrealism. And now it's
bubblegum.
Yeah.
We got emotional bubblegum.
Yeah. So what is your outlook?
On what?
What's your outlook on that?
on the emotional bubblegum?
That only like the transition of music.
I mean, you know,
technically we from the same generation, millennials.
Yeah.
So and we've seen, well, you probably said a little bit more than me as far as music transition, but talk to me about the transition of music and hip hop as a whole, leading up into the emotional hubba bubba rap.
You know, okay, so my intro to it was, I got older brothers and sisters, right? So Mind playing tricks on me, Murder Was the Case, all that stuff, right? So I came up in the early 90s rap, right? And so then it went to everything in the 90s, and then it got love songy a little bit, and then it was still real gangster though, but after Pac died, it got real love songy because they wasn't trying to, it got real. And then in the 2000s, it came back to South, and you know what I'm saying, the late 90s, early 2000s. So now these artists that's out now, I can't knock them because they expressing their view. They getting it out how they feel. And they got a whole audience of emo kids who feel the same way. Or they so impressionable, they don't know how to feel. So let me grab that. You get what I'm saying? So when we was growing up, it was they gave you a whole lot of game. And they was doing the dealing. Now they ain't got no game and they all drug addicts. But that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't knocking them, but that's just the difference of the elements of music. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. There's enough artists out here. There's enough people and enough artists out here to create. It's a good balance, you know, for everybody who need their thing.
Do you feel as though it's a lot of soundbiting out here?
Oh yeah, you hear all these remixes. You hear all these. Most of the records that's out on the radio today is remixes from other records that was hot.
It's crazy because back then we didn't have a lot of remixes.
Nah, it was original. You had to be raw. Your talent had to be there. You know, they might remix something from the 70s. You might hear Puffy coming in with something, or Dr. Dre might come in with some loops from an old record. But
you have to like really listen in the beat to determine it. Okay, this is Frankie Beverly and Maze, or this is Earth, Wind and Fire. You would have to really listen to hear that though. Now it's like, oh, what?
Yeah, they just put the two songs together. Now it's just
Yeah.
that song, and then there you go. It's lazy.
Do you
It's
think
the creativity is just as bad as the work ethic of the artists today, or people today. In reality, like if you look at the whole culture of people, a lot of people are not willing to put that extra umph in, or put that extra work in, and have that discipline, that drive to be the next. So it's just what it is. I mean,
do you
I
think the
might get in
lack of
trouble for some of the stuff I said today.
that, hey, look, we like this is a totally safe platform up over here, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It'll be public soon, but it's all good.
Do you
It's
think
all good.
that certain artists are like? I mean, look, if the shoe fits, God damn it.
Right. I ain't say no names, so
No, we
just so
didn't say
y'all know.
no. That's the thing. We didn't say the names. So
Yeah,
if somebody get offended,
right.
um, do you feel as though they're lazy because there there isn't as many older presences as it were back then? Like, you had an OG, you had somebody in the game that's like, hey yo, look at this. Like, I mean, even Bow Wow had an OG. That's what a lot of people don't understand. He had Jermaine Dupri and he had Snoop and Drake. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why he's been able to move how he's moving. However,
Mm-hmm.
now they don't have that.
A lot of them got it, but the OGs are. Let me rewind. A lot of them have influence of older people, but are those older people the proper influence that artist need, or is it a manipulated situation? You get what I'm saying? And I think the
Yeah.
reason why people are lazy is because everybody wants it microwave fast. You know how you get your information on Instagram so quick and everything just so fast? They feel like their career should be that fast. They feel like if they like a girl, it should be that quick. Or a girl feel like if she like a dude, he should be it's a lot of everything is so microwave. Nobody take the time to really get to know what's going on, but they want it that bad. You know what I'm saying? Just for the satisfaction of entitlement.
Do
And
you
it's a
think
lot of that.
they
Huh?
work more for the entitlement instead of for the actual like hard work that comes from it?
Yeah, a lot of people just live their life based off entitlement. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. Like to be real with you, coming up in a different generation of time, like when they made it illegal to whoop your kids, that's when a lot of this shit got fucked up. Stuff got messed up. Not saying it's all right to whoop your kids, but I'm just saying the mind frame.
Yeah.
But then you got a lot of people doing what they want to do. So then there was no boundaries. So when there wasn't no boundaries, a lot of people start that's when you get more entitlement, because now we don't have no boundaries. So where's the line? Where's the gun line? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
view. That's just how I see it.
I recently heard me being a journalist, I get stuff sent to me and I get links from here to Africa, what seems
Yeah,
like
right.
email flooded. I saw an interview with one artist who says that Houston a lot of times is at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to artists, when it comes to its influence.
As far as what? On
As
what
far as the
capacity?
rap game as a whole, as far as rap game as a whole.
It's not true. Houston is the background of rap, and let me tell you why. The Ghetto Boys was out in the '80s, right? You had Chuck D and them, you had the Ghetto Boys, and then you had Eazy-E and them that came out. When it comes to the three elements, right? You got your East Coast group, you got your down south, and then you got your West Coast. The aggression of how the West Coast reacted, they verbiage, even with that whole environment is like a very mouthy type culture. Like even how they, it's the West Coast, how it's a different type of element. Then you got your South. It was real like organized, strict structure. You know what I'm saying? Because it was at a disadvantage and looked at it in a different type of way. But it gave a lot of these other people and bosses in the South that confidence that they can do it too. And when it comes to the culture of sipping and the cars, the old school candy paints and all that type of stuff, West Coast wasn't doing that. They just had hydraulics. Now you go out to the West Coast, everybody got candy paint. What they had, candy paint and everything else. You go over to the East Coast, they ain't had that type of culture. Them niggas was getting on trains and riding, you know what I'm saying, walking and all that other type. You get what I'm saying? So
They
it was
calf muscles.
right. You get what I'm saying? So but then they adapted the culture of the lean and the whole Southern way and the player way. That player shit can't look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z favorite artist is who? Scarface. You get what I'm saying? So you can't say that Houston was at the bottom or the back of the totem pole because it's really been in the front, like Texas as a whole.
I think he probably meant to hint that we don't get enough credit.
Oh, okay.
Where credit is honestly due, because like you just said, there was a structure created by the South that everyone looked at and was like, "Oh, this is different. Let's follow this."
Right.
It's not to everybody out there. It's not like no copycat thing, but it's a blueprint, a universal blueprint that was followed.
Yeah, and you got to look and see who's still relevant today. Who started that blueprint? Who started those blueprints? And I don't know the one who started this Southern blueprint. I don't know him personally, but I look at the work ethic that was put in to make that happen, and that respect that was established. It wasn't no entitlement. It was all hard work that did that, and dedication.
Do you think that a lot of times that, excuse me, artists of the South are shadowed more than artists of the East or West Coast because people are more comfortable with those two sides and because of, the university behind it?
Not now.
Why not?
I don't think now, because you got to think Wayne is from the South. The other one that's from here that just had the thing happen at the concert. I can't think his name.
At which concert? We didn't have a few.
You know his name. I can't think of his name. Lord have mercy, my brain is everywhere today. The one from Missouri City.
Zero?
No, not Zero. Ain't what's his name from Missouri City too? The Kardashian baby daddy. I can't think. There's no disrespect. His mind. I'm thinking about Kanye, and he invited Kanye to the baby birthday party.
From both cities.
You know who I'm talking about. I think he's from. I can't think his name right now, but Lord forgive me. I'm sorry. I don't mean no disrespect. If anybody see this, I'm not trying to be funny.
I'll be honest. I have a Rolodex going through my head right now, and I'm just like,
the one who got a baby by Kylie Jenner. His name is
Travis Scott. Okay,
Travis.
Scott.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Travis, he from here. He a big artist. Wayne, you got to think all the stuff No Limit did. You got to think all the stuff that Cash Money did. You got to think all the stuff in the beginning that Tony Draper and them did. You get what I'm saying? With Suave House and all that other stuff. So, and then you got to think with Rap-A-Lot, the structure of how Rap-A-Lot did their thing. So I don't think that people look at the East or the West. And then you got to go over to Atlanta. You got a lot of artists that's from Atlanta that's popping. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually glad you brought up Atlanta, because Houston, I've definitely had this discussion with many Houston artists, new and older generations, and it's still the crab in the bucket mindset for Houston. And then it's always compared to Atlanta. It's like, well, everybody from Atlanta got each other on each other record, and they put out this project together, they put out that project together, but when I hit up, then they always be like, oh, no, it's because it is. But I look at the older generation, and it's like, everybody's quick phone call, like, hey, yo, what's up type situation.
Yeah. So you saying, what are you saying?
You still think it's a crab in a bucket situation?
I honestly haven't been here long enough to know how because I'm not an original Houstonian. So I haven't been here long enough to see how the artists work. I haven't really honestly worked with a lot of artists here. I know when I was shooting video, I had hit up Slim Thug and a manager, but they were shooting that day. It was Paul Wall, Slim, and Baby Bash. They got under the same management. So they was all together that day, and then they was gonna come over to the shoot, but they were shooting something separate that day. So Mike Jones ended up coming through. But I don't know, you know, the in and outs of all of their relationship. That's beyond me, and I'm out of my pay grade. But I can kind of see what you're saying. Like a lot, and then a lot of people don't know industry etiquette here, or the proper way to charge. Like a lot of stuff, like if you go to LA, you know, that's the entertainment capital, right? So a lot of stuff and services would be more flexible, but out here they'd be like, yeah, it's going to be this month. I'm like, nigga, I can just fly back to the crib to LA and take care of that. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I do.
but they don't know. You know, you do what you do when you don't know what you know. You know, so it's all good. I haven't really, like I say, we putting this show together, Sean Kiez and Friends, in March after South by Southwest. I'm gonna start doing my part on reaching out to the other artists that's a good peer. I feel like a good peer, even if they pop a little bit more than me right now or not. Because there's a lot of other stuff that I be having going on, and I know that they, you know what I'm saying, it could probably benefit both of us to a degree, you know. So yeah, that's it. Like I can see that. I can see that mind frame, because you got to look at it like everybody on defense, because they don't know. When you know you're not on defense, you on, okay, let's organize, strategize, and move forward. But when people don't know, that's when because ignorance is a ruler to some. And when you're ignorant, that makes you a separate unit. You want to be a separate unit, but you realize the wisdom and experience is more in number that you can get done. Even if your brand got to coexist with another brand, you're still building your brand, or you're still making your brand relevant. And a lot of people box themselves out of those type of scenarios because of ignorance, simply.
I want to go ahead and jump into your music career. You know, you said you were like, I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna do it during the coronavirus, right? That was in 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Because you know we didn't had like several variants and stuff.
Right, the original
Corona.
Right.
When she first came and popped off. So,
yeah.
It's
been a while.
What was your style, or what was your mindset going into the studio, and you know, you coming from the background to the forefront?
Well, my style is, I knew I had to bring my sound out. I knew I had to find out who my new sound. You know, it's a different day, because I was an artist before, but then I've been behind the scenes, you know, working on stuff. So it was like, I'm competing with my clients, first off. So in order to take this stuff serious, my sound got to be better than all my clients I got, or even or at that level, you know, to even compete with their competitors. So, you know, with the imagery, the all my visuals had to be on point. And I'm sure if you go back and look, you know, they're very clean. My sound is clean. We got a bunch of slapping records that's coming out. So going in the studio for me, it was like going to boot camp, because I had to really make sure that everything that I brought out was on point. Ain't no slacking. It can't be no slacking.
Tell me about that feeling when you looked on Spotify and you checked your analytics and it was more than 300K people that listened to your music and you were verified.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you know, it's a good feeling, but you know, it's 7 billion people in the world, right? We ain't gonna have all of them, but at least if I'm ready for my billion streams, but I'm ready to put the work in first, though, to get that. Because the more places that you're at, the more stuff that you can do with your music and your craft. And, you know, the more ownership that you got of your records, the more stuff that you can do too. So I'd rather have, you know, more, but I'm appreciative of where I'm at and what's going on. Like all my monthly listeners and all the stuff that's going on, I appreciate every single one of y'all, because y'all could be listening to somebody else and not me. So I'm thankful. I got like 14,000 hours so far, people listening, you know what I'm saying, listening to my records. So I'm just appreciative, just keep it going. I'm gonna keep going. Y'all keep going. Whoever y'all are, much love and light to y'all. Yes.
Are you going to have like a compilation of your previous singles and then create that like a little short mixtape? Or are you going to do an EP? You're going to do an LP? Like,
I don't know, because everything. Why you say?
You like that? Hold on, ain't nobody asked me that. I was just making good music. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, because you know what I'm saying, because I'm just dropping out singles. I'm just here to drop out my singles now, because everything is online. You could just go to my name, Sean Kiez, and it's the whole album right there. Just let it play through. You can listen to the album. You get what I'm saying? Off each single, that just go play next. Go play next. You listen to the album.
Just let them add up.
Yeah, there you go. I'm eventually going to put an album out, but now it's like the time just to build that awareness. And you never got to, you never stop building your awareness, because there's always going to be somebody who don't know you. But just for now, just dropping out singles.
What is some of the outside pressure that you have as an artist, if you have any pressure?
Pressure from personal life, or pressure from
all aspects?
Oh, I mean, you always got pressure. You still got your day-to-day bills. You still got your family that needs you on a personal level. They still going through their storms or they great times or whatever. You still got to be available for your real life too. So that's a lot. And I got a big family. So, you got a lot of people who need energy sometimes. And you got to give them that and still try to keep your energy full. And then I run like 2 other companies outside of the formula and then outside of my career. So it's like I'm on the go all the time. So, it is what it is, and it's fine, so the pressure is good. Pressure makes diamonds.
How do you balance being an entrepreneur, being a branding strategist, and, you're still making music while still having time for your family, and you just said 2 companies in addition to the one you're running, which is the Formula ENT. How do you find that balance?
Well, I find a balance because I make it all a part of my lifestyle. You give everything a little bit of time in a day, right? So, and then you delegate, you hire people, you create a revenue stream so you can hire people so you don't have to do all of the work. You make sure you keep those people paid very well so they will want to work and help. You know what I'm saying, and support the cause, because you as a leader, greater than the people who follow behind you. You know what I'm saying? If they're not strong, you're not a great leader. So you got to make everybody that's rolling with you strong in order for all y'all to see, if y'all seeing the same goal.
Do you think you're more so a lyricist or a storyteller?
I'm a goat.
Or matter of fact, describe your sound.
My sound is like a soulful, real. I personally feel like I'm a goat, but I create a lot of different elements of melody, and my sound it's an undeniable sound, I think. And even when I'm, from the love song side of it, it's a deeper sense because it comes from a deeper place. Even the reality songs and a lot of stuff is true lyrics. Like some of the stories are really actually true stories. So I think that I'm a lyricist. Of course, I'm a lyricist. And then with the gift of storytelling.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
It's like the real people who have, music ears to understand what we're talking about right now.
Yes.
Because just because somebody rhymed don't mean they're a lyricist.
No, you hear some. I'm telling y'all go to Apple Music and listen to them songs that y'all like right now and just read the words. They ain't, what are you saying? It's just the hook. What's selling the song is the hook. When you get to the lyrics, it's like they just everywhere.
Do you think labels are just looking for that now?
Yes, of course. It's in their best interest. I remember, I ain't finna date myself, but I remember when it was a shift. You know what I'm saying? I remember when it was the shift. And then and I hope I don't sound like I'm coming off as angry or mad. I appreciate all artistry, right? Because it helps give us our own individualness because we all supporting the culture of music. That's one thing we all got in common. We love this culture. And for those who take from the culture and don't put nothing back in there, that's on you. You got to deal with yourself at the end of the day when you buy yourself. But a lot of us who put into this culture, we actually do it because we love what we're doing. So it's a lot of stuff that the labels do just for financial. You got to think about it. It's an institution. It's almost like a bank. Banks have no feeling. It's about dollars and numbers and cents. That's what it's all about. That's why you get some of the records that you get, because they know that this type of sound or this type of element for the mind is going to create revenue.
Are there any artists, whether from any generation, that you would like to create a project with or even have a few singles with?
Well, I got a few singles with a couple artists now. How can I describe this? Yeah, I got one with some now that's signed to different labels, but I don't know. I would, that's a hard question. I get asked that question a lot and I don't never really have an answer. Because I gotta really like you to want to do a record. I don't look at just the analytics of it. I got out of that stage of just doing music because it's a cool look. Like, I really got to dig your music. Like, if you think about it, back in the day, Quincy Jones and them, they really dug the musicians that they worked with. And that's what made the music even better.
Yeah, and timeless. Yeah.
And timeless. So it's hard to say who I would want to work with. I got to be around them first and study them. You know, like if you think about Prince didn't just work with anybody, but he worked with a lot of people behind the scenes, writing for him or collaborating with them. But what he would do is study them first. Same thing with Michael. He had studied them first. You know, because it was like, I'm giving you me and I'm going to put my all in it. Like, and I learned my lesson on even doing some features. You know, they don't really have the same element of interest that you have. So it's like, okay, all right, it is what it is. I probably won't do another record with this person again, but that was for that moment in time. So now I can't even really put a finger on who I would work with, who I wouldn't work with. I just want to work with a genuine, dope musician who really care about the craft, and we can keep it going, because I'm not really interested in the quantity. I'm more about the quality of it all.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at.
Like, growing up, did you see yourself doing this?
Yeah. Everything I'm doing, I saw this as a kid, and I made sure I stayed in that lane to be able to do it.
Do you think it's even throughout the challenges? You know, sometimes, you know, the boat could rock.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of times some people, including myself, you know, when the boat rocks, it's just like, well, should I still be on this boat, or should I just, you know, go off?
You think to yourself like you crazy for staying on it, but stay on it. If it's your dream, you die when your dreams die. As long as you keep your dreams close and alive, you're gonna stay alive, because that's giving you a reason to keep getting up in the morning, keep putting one foot in front of the other. So I've had different life experiences where my personal life took me out of position, but I had to fight my way back towards where my destiny was. You know, because it's gonna happen. Real life is gonna happen. Don't ever think, I don't care if you just got hit a lick for $1 million or $2-3 million, you still gonna have problems. You still gonna have, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? There's still gonna be different elements of different things going on. So you still gotta stay focused on what you really desire in your heart and to yourself. And you gotta speak those things every day, and you gotta walk in there, you gotta do it. Even if you don't know nobody at an event and you wanna be a leadership conference, or you want to be a leader and you putting stuff together, go to that thing, man. Because it's going to be probably 50 other people who is just like you that's waiting to meet you, and y'all can all help each other be better leaders. Don't stop.
And before we go, I want you to give us your entire social, not your social, you know, not your social security number, but
well, right,
be like, hey, what was that? What that was? What, right. 2? You said 2 or 3? Which one? But you know,
all y'all will be in trouble. You can't even get a can of paint right now, huh? It is what it is. But I'm speaking those things into existence. This is going to be great in a few minutes.
Look, I want you to tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can follow your businesses, where they can listen to your music, and all platforms.
All right, you could just Google me, Sean Kiez, and it's at Sean Kiez on Instagram and Sean Kiez Official on what is that, Twitter or whatever that is? I don't know. But The Formula, ENT, is my company. Y'all can go on there and keep up to date with stuff that's going on. Sean Kiez and Friends coming out the third weekend of March in Houston. It's going to be a big deal. So if any vendors or anybody want to come on board for that, make sure you reach out and you can hit me on my DM or whatever, because it's going to be a nice little thing. We did a community back to school drive before school started, of course, back to school drive. And that was a success here in Houston. And we did it on the fly, all independent, out of the pocket. We had the ice cream trucks for the kids, food, plenty backpacks. The Army, the Navy came, and the Air Force for the older kids who really don't know where they want to go, not promoting the military like that, but to create other options versus being on these streets. I had different schools come out, different people and different resources for the community come out too. So we're going to do that again next year. So we got to get that link up to start getting volunteers for that for next year, so we pay for that out of pocket. But it's time to get these brands behind it, because these are the same consumers that spend their hard-earned money to support their companies. So they need to pour back into the community to keep stuff going. So that's what we're going to work on next. But we got Sean Kiez and Friends coming March, the weekend after South by Southwest. So if you're in the H, make sure you reach out, different vendors, different artists who want to come out. It's going to be a private event, so you got to RSVP. So we definitely go lock in. Hopefully you can make it out.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I just want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you and for you to talk with me on my podcast channel, because we have dropped so much knowledge. At this point, this is a master class, okay? This is a master class.
Yeah. You liked it? That's good.
I did. I love learning about everything.
Yeah.
If it keeps my mind stimulated, then of course I'm like a sponge.
Right.
Okay, no matter how my hair look, I'm a sponge. Okay.
Right, that's good. That's the sponge. You got the sponge going. That's the beginning of it, right there. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though, like we're gonna have to slick it back some, but
however you do it, it's all right. It's all right.
But I want to thank you for the opportunity, and everybody, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Only on the Talk With Me podcast. This is Sean Kiez, and he is keeping it easy.
That's right. We're gonna keep it easy. Yeah, life is hard. Keep it easy. We holler. Peace.
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your girl Jay Renee. You know I've got something to say. Bringing you new episodes and new guests on the Talk With Me podcast, exclusively on YouTube. Like, share, and of course subscribe. And follow us on IG too. All right, y'all. Bye.